Okay, so we're going to start at the mouth of the canyon. Go ahead and set your odometer to 0, 0, and we're going to move up the canyon here to our paragliding site, Middle Earth. There's the Lonely Mountain. We'll talk about that later. And Lonely Mountain blocks all the air coming up the canyon. So you're going to park at the horse stables. It's free, or you can park at Upper Richbar, and that'll cost you $10. So I go ahead and I park at the horse stables, and this is what it looks like when you come up to the horse stables. You see the cow, the yellow cow sign. That's your sign to say park here. You're going to go up the road. It has a gate that you have to cross, and the Green Dragon is where we usually land at. And the wind direction is usually coming right down this road, and so that's why we land in the Green Dragon. You'd think it'd be parallel to the road you drive on, but it's not. The wind comes and just down that way. And also the meadow works pretty good too. There's sink at Stark Creek sometimes as you cross to the meadow if you're going to go there. Well, you're going to hike up the trail. If you're a paraglider, there's a trail split. You want to stay to the right. And then this is another trail split. It's really important. You got to come to this horseshoe shape in the trail. It's the only horseshoe U-turn part of the trail, and you go down into the forest, and there is a trail that takes you down to the creek. From here, it's kind of cross country when you get out of the forest. You can either go to the left, which is a little bit longer and less steep, or to the right, which is usually the way we go. It's steeper, but it's shorter, and that gets you to the Treebeard launch site. And the name it's called Treebeard Launch because of the tree with the eyeballs, and there is a geocache right to the left of the tree with some Gatorade and trail mix. And here is the launch at Treebeard.
Come on, Mabel.
With a little bit of wind coming up. It's a very safe launch. Love it a lot. Now from Treebeard, you can also launch up higher to Minas Tirith, which is Minas Ithil, and that's the Tower of the Rising Moon. And I did a hike and fly there, and I launched from there. It's another very safe launch. It's almost like a 4-to-1 ratio. So you really have to cook going down there to get up in the air. But it adds a lot more to a flight, and it was wonderful. It was in the morning, so the thermals were popping pretty good. Back to Treebeard Launch, and you can also ridge soar Treebeard hill. It's not too bad. Pretty smooth. Coming across. I've never soared it in anything higher than 8 miles an hour, so obviously I need to soar it at about 10 miles an hour to really stay up on top of it, and that would be nice. Let's see, but the big prize is Minas Tirith, which is the Tower of the Rising or the Setting Sun. Super cool. This bowl right here works really well to ridge soar. A lot of lift coming up the bowl. And once again, this was like you're talking 6 mile an hour winds, but the air is pretty buoyant right in there, and it's all coming up that bowl. And that's Mr. Nick right there. So you can also go a little bit farther over to the north. I have not checked out this area yet, but I really want to. Some nice ridges and stuff, but you really got to watch out for your LZs. There's hardly any LZs, and there's a little bit of a block from that ridge right in front right there. I call that the Dark Rider Ridge. You got to get past that to get to any of the LZs, so it's just something to be aware of. There's also the watchtower. We found lift coming along the watchtower, and that's great. Also, past the watchtower is where a stealth fighter went down. Major Ross, I think, was one who died. Now you can land at Rivendell, which is this big area right here. I mean, this thing is just like really good. The only hazard is overshooting and going in that ditch, and that would hurt a lot. But it's big and wide and has just a lot of nice green area. And but if you're gonna land in Rivendell, make sure that the river isn't up. And you can check to see if the river's up. There's two canals. Right now in this picture, the canal on the left is dry, and so you can get across at Buckleberry Ferry. But if the canal on the left is full of water, you're going to have a hard time getting across that thing. You can also land at Trollshaw, and I landed over here at the Shire the last time. You just got to watch out for the barbed wire fence in front of there. And I did encounter a little bit of sink right at the lip. But it wasn't too bad. It was enough to get me through the thing. Nick also landed at the side of the road, and he said he encountered a lot of sink but no turbulence, which, you know, it wouldn't be my choice to land in, but I guess in an emergency it'd be fine. Also, but the preferred landing, if you want to land close to the car, would be the Green Dragon Inn, and that is this paved part right here by the cattle pens. This is a morning flight, and there's a lot of air coming down the gully to my left. I wasn't aware of it until I turned because I wasn't going to make the meadow, and man, I ran into about like a 16-mile-an-hour wind coming down the gully, and that was just incredible. So, but a normal landing in the evening would be straight up the road. I didn't have any film of that, or right in this dirt area, and that's the way the wind is usually blowing, is straight down the road. Also, you can land at the meadow. It's nice. Also, it's big, it's huge, it's wide, but you will get a little bit of sink, even in the evening, of some of that air coming down Stark Creek. So, not a lot. I really haven't had a huge problem, but my Vario did go off when I was landing there. This is pretty much a big overview of Middle Earth, and good luck. Well, this last part is taking off from Lonely Mountain, a little bit behind the summit, and I went ahead and took off from here because there's some barbed wire fences on the front end, and I didn't want to run into those. So come around the corner, there's a little bit of barbed wire. You actually had to clear here too. Let me see here. So you go ahead and you pull around the ridge, and you can win. Well, I don't know. This place is kind of, I don't know what I haven't ridge sorted or anything. I know somebody that's Goodwill that's on a very, like, just dead air day. And just pull around the corner, but you can just go back and forth on this. Even if you had like a 10-mile-an-hour wind, you could just ridge sort this all day long. Here's a landing that you can go ahead and do, and most normal people would land even around here, would be fine, and then you would just go across the ravine and go back to your car, parking at Roadside Crag, which is a little crag and a turnout. But you could also land right here is perfect, just right in front right here. But I had made a pact with Nick that I would go ahead and land on the other side of the river, because we always want to land on this flat part. Probably wasn't the smartest idea. There's only actually a little bit of boulders right in the middle, and I just happened to hit them. But normally this would be okay if the river's down, which is sometime in I don't know, November this year. It's a big river year. And so you only want to do this if the river's like way down, like the way it is right now. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to get across, and then that's going to be a problem. So this is Middle Earth paragliding, and I hope you enjoyed this tour of it.
Oh, shit.
See you later.
Golly. Ow, 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 ow. Oh.